What is going on, everybody? We are here with a reaction to the Athletic semi-new mock draft today. Sorry for not uploading these last 2 days, as I did lose power here in New York because of the storm, but we are back with a double upload. And yeah, I'll be uploading, I think, this first, and then you guys will be getting my reaction to Colin Cowherd's top 10 players in the bubble later. So yeah, this actually came out on July 14th. Now, Sam Vecini, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, is kind of their main guy, and he came out with a big board, but I thought I'd rather react to a mock draft so we can kind of see like where the players are going on the teams. So this did come out about 2.5 weeks ago. Now, he did use Tankathon, so it's not the current draft order. And Athletic is known for being pretty good with their analysts or analysis, and probably going to be some better picks than Bleacher Report, who already came out with another mock draft, like after just doing one last week. So maybe if you want me to react to that one, let me know. So with the first pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be selecting Anthony Edwards, and honestly, I think that's who they would take with the #1 pick. They don't really need Wiseman. I don't know how they would really... That would work with Wiseman and Towns. I don't think that would be a good fit. And then with LaMelo and D'Lo, kind of similar players, at least play styles. I don't think that would be a good fit. So I think Anthony Edwards would be perfect. D'Lo at the 1, Edwards at the 2, and there's your backcourt for the next 5 years. I think that could actually work out. He definitely has the highest defensive upside of anybody really going in the top 5 because of his frame, his size, his athleticism. So I think this would be a good pick for Minnesota, and they could have their backcourt, and then you can obviously have like kind of Culver, Koji, and then you'll figure out your power forward. Obviously, a lot of people want them to go after maybe Obi Toppin in the draft, but you're just not taking him #1, so I do agree with that. Moving on, we have the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so they ended up #2 in his Tankathon lottery, and they take LaMelo Ball. Yeah, I think you got to go LaMelo Ball here. Even if the defense in the backcourt isn't going to be as good, but you're going to get that point guard. Rubio's got 2 years left on his contract, and he's, what, 29? He's going to go on 30. You want that guy for the future with Devin Booker. Now, I don't know how they would be able to coexist because LaMelo likes the ball in his hands, and so does Devin Booker. But I think this has to be the pick. You really can't go any other way around this, so I do agree with this as well. Moving on, we have the Charlotte Hornets. End up with 3. Wow, all the teams needy of one position are getting here, or lucky in this. Like the Timberwolves with a good kind of counterpiece in the backcourt to a good defensive counterpiece, or somebody with upside next to D'Angelo Russell. Suns getting that point guard, that playmaking point guard, and then the Hornets getting a center, which kind of their main position they need of. So yeah, this is a no-brainer once again. The Hornets, this is very lucky. Now, I am intrigued to see if we can get kind of crazy with this. Now, if there is some turmoil, in Utah, and Utah calls Charlotte, and they really like Wiseman, we'll give you Rudy Gobert for James Wiseman. Does Charlotte say yes to that? I don't know. Maybe they would think about it, but I think that would be something fun to talk about, definitely. So moving on, we have the Cavs at 4, Denny Avdija, who, honestly, I do agree with this pick as well. Maybe they would go Onyeka Okongwu or Obi Toppin and have them develop behind Drummond and Love. Or, yeah, I don't think they would take a point guard. I don't think they would go a Halliburton or Killian Hayes either, who could be a combo guard. I think Avdija could be that small forward, and I would probably draft him over Okoro and Vassell. Excuse me. I'm dumb, but if I'm the Cavs here, because you're going for that boom, you're not like, it's going to be a boomer bust guy, and I think that's Denny. Maybe Okoro or Vassell is more of a safe pick. So let's go on here to Golden State. Onyeka Okongwu. Wow, these are all kind of like perfect fits to these teams if the lottery ends up like this, 1 through 5. Onyeka Okongwu, they need a center. I do agree. I saw on Bleacher Reports, I think they had Obi Toppin to the Warriors, and that's just like a no. I don't think that would be a good fit whatsoever. But they do need a rim protecting center, and that could be Okongwu. I know I read something. You guys know that if they end up with the #1 pick, they would go Edwards. So maybe they would look at wing players here. I don't know if they would go Devin Vassell. Vassell, I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. Vassell. Or they would go like Isaac Okoro, or they would maybe go like a Killian Hayes. But Okongwu seems like the perfect fit. But we think of that for so many mock drafts, and then on draft night, it's just completely different. Moving on to pick 6, we have the Atlanta Hawks taking Isaac Okoro. Another pick I do agree with. I do think that they need more defense, especially if you could put him at the shooting guard position right next to Trey Young, who can help him out on the defensive side. Kind of look at what Boston did with Isaiah Thomas. Not saying, I mean, Trey Young and Isaiah Thomas could be a little bit comparable on defense at this current moment. Hopefully Trey Young does develop throughout his career, but at this moment, you want to surround Trey Young with good defenders. That could be Clint Capella, that could be DeAndre Hunter, and that could be possibly Isaac Okoro. So I do agree with this pick as well. Maybe you look at Halliburton here. That's all I would probably say besides that, so I do like this pick. Pistons taking Tyrese Halliburton. I disagree with this pick just because I think the Pistons need somebody with boom potential. Now, I think Halliburton is more of a safe pick. I think somebody like Killian Hayes has more all-star potential, but he definitely has more potential to be a bust. That's why I think like LaMelo is like what they need too as well. But yeah, they're going to be bad next year once again, so you might as well just try to hit that home run. And I don't know if Halliburton is that guy. I think that might be more Killian Hayes. Like, Killian Hayes could be an all-star, or he might be like a 9th man in the rotation. But Halliburton could definitely be like a low-end starter, 6th man throughout his career. And it depends what you want. So, I'm all for either one. Maybe I would go Cole Anthony as well. But Halliburton, you know, there's a debate to have him over Killian Hayes and Cole Anthony. Knicks taking Obi Toppin. Ugh, I don't know if I like this. I think they need a point guard. I think with Cole Anthony on the board, I think the Knicks would go Cole or Killian Hayes. Maybe they would like RJ Hampton, but I don't know. I think they would, personally, I would go Cole or Killian Hayes. Obi Toppin, yeah, I guess, Julius Randle has a team option in 2021. They could decline that and then have their front court for the future with Toppin and Mitch. But Toppin's going to be 23 next year. He's already older than Mitchell Robinson, and he'd be drafted 2 years later, so I don't know. If I'm the Knicks, I like Toppin just to kind of be the guy there. But do you think he could be a nice floor spacer and a complimentary front court piece to Mitchell Robinson? Then you maybe go that, possibly. But then you don't want to behind Julius Randle this year. Then you got to somehow trade Julius Randle, which might be hard to do. But me, I'm going Cole Anthony here personally. I'm taking that boom potential over Toppin. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Toppin in this draft. You guys know that. Chicago taking Devin Vassell here at 9. I like this a lot. Definitely either him or Aaron Nesmith or Isaac Okoro. They do need that small forward. Now, they have their backcourt for now. If they don't move Levine, but with Levine and White, who they took in the top 10 last year. Somebody they took at 7 the year before in Wendell Carter Jr. at center, and 7 the year before in Lauri Markkanen. So they have their front court, they have their back court. They kind of need that small forward with Otto Porter probably not being on the team in 2022. And he'll have a player option this offseason. He'll opt in, and then next year might be his final year as a Bull or as a Bull starter. So I do like this pick for Chicago a lot. Washington, Killian Hayes. I'm surprised he falls this low. But, you know, that might happen on draft night. Definitely could. So, Killian, actually, yeah, maybe Killian Hayes' range on draft night is more like a 6 to a 10. Maybe a 7 to a 10. I would say 7 to like a 12. Washington, though, that is an interesting fit. I think they would love Devin Vassell, or they would love Isaac Okoro here at 10. But Killian Hayes might work out, especially if they do move Bradley Beal at some point and they think he could be a shooting guard or just work well with John Wall maybe in the future. We'll see. I don't know if they would maybe target more of an RJ Hampton, or they would like a Tyrese Maxey or a Kyra Lewis. I'm sure they would love to get Wiseman or a Kungwu in this draft because Thomas Bryant's looking like he's not a superstar of a center. Good backup, but not a starter. And then Yao Mahimi is going to be gone. But Killian Hayes, he's going to be in a backcourt. He's not going to start. He won't start, but maybe he could develop from Wall and Bradley Beal, and that's what they want. Coming in at pick 11, the Spurs, Aaron Nesmith, they do need shooting. He's probably more of a small forward type wing, or at least the 3 guarding 3s on defense, and DeMar DeRozan might be a free agent. He's probably going to opt into his player option this offseason, but he might not be back in 22, and Aaron Nesmith could be that guy. Like I said, they need shooting. DeJounte Murray, not the greatest shooter. Same with Derek White. Monty Walker's kind of coming into his own, but they could always use more shooting, and I do like this pick if I am the San Antonio Spurs. Sacramento taking Precious Achiuwa, a 6'9 forward/center, a kind of a Swiss Army knife on defense. You can kind of play him wherever, at least at the 3, 4, or 5. I personally think he might be better as a mobile 5, kind of like a Montrezl Harrell type player. So I do like this a lot. I do think the Kings should go front court, definitely, because, you know what, if they're not going to move Hield, they have Fox, they have maybe Bogey, they have small forward with Barnes at the moment. Bagley, though, I don't know. Bagley could maybe play power forward. He can play center if he's on the floor, but the dude is always hurt. Rashawn Holmes definitely broke out this year, but I wouldn't mind this pick if I was Sacramento. Maybe you look at RJ Hampton. Maybe you look at Kyra Lewis, somebody that could play alongside with Tyrese Maxey, De'Aaron Fox if you're going to trade Buddy Hield in the future, but I don't mind this pick. I actually like a lot of these picks. I think Sam is doing a great job in my opinion, but obviously he probably knows more than me, definitely watches more college basketball, and he gets paid to do this. So, by the Athletic. Pelicans taking Cole Anthony. I would be surprised if he falls out of the top 11. personally. I think teams will look at what he did in UNC, not the team around him, because the team was just really bad. I think the offensive system, like I've said, was really bad around him. He was hurt, but I think he was the do-it-all guy there. But if he's going to be able to play with Zion and Brandon Ingram, I think he could do phenomenal stuff there. I think he's an underrated passer. He's good in transition. He's a great shooter. He just took a lot of bad shots because he took all the shots, basically. They had nobody else on that team who can create their own shots. So I don't mind this pick. I think this would actually be great value for the Pelicans. Either Cole Anthony or Kyra Lewis at 13. And with Lonzo being a 2021 restricted free agent, if a team throws 18 mil at Lonzo, are they going to do that? Who knows? Maybe they'll look for a more cheaper option in the future with Cole Anthony, because they're going to have to pay Ingram this summer. They're going to have to pay Zion in a couple summers, just looking ahead. And teams like to do that. So, 14, Trailblazers taking Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. I like him a lot. He's a great transition point guard. He's a good scorer. He's just a great, like, kind of upbeat, fast guy. Somebody you want in, like, 7 seconds or less. But I don't know if the Trailblazers need another point guard, basically. That's what he is. I mean, their backcourt, you have Lillard, you have McCollum, you have Anthony Simons, you have Gary Trent. I mean, it's not, like, the best backcourt, backup backcourt, but you need kind of wing help desperately. Like, you have your front court with Collins and Nurkic next year, but who's your starting small forward? Nasir Little? Is it Trevor Ariza? They need somebody there, and I think, like, personally, if it's Isaac Okoro, if it's Devin Vassell, Aaron Nesmith, or maybe Patrick Williams here, that might be a better pick just for point win off need, and that's what they need to go for. 15, the Magic taking RJ Hampton. I'm cool with this. He could be a shooting guard in the future. Fournier might opt in this summer, and he'll be a 2021 free agent, and who knows if Fultz is the franchise point guard. It's looking like he could be, so I wouldn't mind this because their front court is very crowded with Bamba, Gordon, Isaac, technically, and Vucevic, and then obviously the three could be either Isaac or Gordon and Chumo Kiki. So I don't mind this. I think they should go backcourt here. And even if he's a backup point guard, I'm cool with that because he's better than TJ Augustine and Michael Carter-Williams. Minnesota getting Patrick Williams. Now, this would be a great draft for them. They're getting defense, what they need, and he could be a power forward. You could put him next to Karl-Anthony Towns. If he could develop a shot and be a 3-and-D 4 next to Cat, that would be amazing. And you already have Anthony Edwards off this mock draft. I think that's a phenomenal job, and I would really like this. If Patrick Williams falls to 16 for them, it's great. It's great because people think he might be the best perimeter defender in this draft. Boston taking Tyrese Maxey at 17. I wouldn't mind them taking a backup point guard, even though Maxey could be more of a combo guard. Like I've said, they need centers, and I think they're going to end up trading at least one of their 3 first-round picks. But Maxey might be, too good to pass up on, and they'll take somebody at 28, wherever their pick is, and then trade the Milwaukee pick. But I would like to see them end up with like an Isaiah Stewart or Zeke Naji or Vernon Carey, just a big man that they can maybe develop. But they haven't done a good job developing big men in like recent years. With at least Robert Williams was kind of a flop, even though a lot of people thought he could be good. I mean, Daniel Tice has done a good job there, and Grant Williams definitely has some room to grow. So I shouldn't say that. That's a little too much. Dallas taking Pukuzuski, shooter, big men out of Olympiakos B. I don't know if that's the Greece division. I might be, or it's the Serbian division. And I mean, this fits their mold, just kind of foreign players. Obviously, they have a lot of foreign players on their team, especially guys that could shoot. So I think Dallas would love him. I don't know if he falls to 18. I've heard a lot of lottery hype about him, so we'll see. And yeah, Tony Ranzone, or Ranzone? I thought it was Ranzone, but yeah, he could do, he would probably love him, and I'm sure they would love him at 18. Milwaukee at 19 via Indianapolis, or Indiana. Why did I say Indianapolis? That was stupid. From the Malcolm Brogdon side of trade a year ago. Theo Maledon, not a bad pick. I think, yeah, I can get with that. Yeah, they can use maybe backup point guard George Hill getting a little bit older. Same with Eric Bledsoe. That Dante DiVincenzo might be more of a 2, and they can develop Theo Maledon with some good veterans that can definitely teach him the ways of George Hill and Eric Bledsoe. So I'm cool with that, but he might be a developmental guy. He might be 2 years away from being 2 years away, if you know what I mean. Brooklyn taking Sadiq Bey, a 6'8 wing out of Villanova. They could use some scoring. They could use a potential 4. So I could get with that, definitely. So I like that pick as well for them. He kind of broke out a little bit. I thought a lot of people thought maybe Brian Antoine or Jamar Robinson Earl, JRE, could be the number 1 guy for Nova this year, and it's turned out to be Sadiq Bey. Denver taking Isaiah Stewart. They do have a lot of centers, and Jokic, Plumlee, if they bring him back, even though he's a free agent this year. Bol we've seen do really well, so I don't know if they would go maybe Isaiah Stewart here. Maybe they can go Nico Mannion with this pick, or they would love Theo Maledon. because Monte Morris might get a lot of money on the open market, and they're paying Jokic and Murray all this money, and who knows if they're gonna have to pay Porter Jr. in a couple years. So I think I would want them to go maybe a power. I guess he could be a power forward because Millsap is a free agent, and Jeremy Grant probably will be as well. But I don't know if I like Isaiah Stewart in the top 21. I think he's more of a late first round guy, like the last 3 picks, or a second round guy. Philly taking Josh Green. Dude has potential out of Arizona, and I think this would be great for Philly. You know, he's going to get hurt his first year if he gets drafted by Philly. That's just how all their picks go. But, you know, he can learn from some vets like Tobias Harris, like Al Horford. Even Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons could teach him a lot. And I would like him in Philly, definitely. They could use some wing help, 100%. Miami taking Trey Jones. That's another point guard maybe Denver would like. I forgot about Trey Jones. But yeah, he's already a vet. Basically, he's a very smart player coming out of Duke as a sophomore. Younger brother of Tyus, obviously. And I think in the Heat's player development system, he'd do great. Utah taking Zeke Naji. Depends. Do they think Tony Bradley's the guy, is the backup center? I don't think Zeke Naji could really be a 4 in the NBA. I think he's more of a 5. I think Utah maybe needs more scoring off the bench. So I think you would want to go somebody with scoring potential like a Josh Green, or maybe like a Jaden McDaniels or somebody later on. I think they would go that over a big man that's kind of just a rebounding big man, somebody like an Ed Davis, personally. OKC taking Jaden McDaniels. It's a boomer bust pick, definitely. He could be maybe a good player in the NBA, but there's a chance he'll be a bust. He's very raw, so he'll have some time, but I think they do need forwards. Gallinari will be a free agent, and he's getting up there in age, and then there's small forwards. Like Lou Dortz is a good defender and all, but is he really a starting small forward on a championship team? At least not yet. Moving on, we have Boston taking Leandro Bolmaro, somebody that might not play right away, but definitely has potential, but still not another center for Boston. They kind of need some big men, so I don't know about that. Knicks taking Nico Mannion here at 27. I think that in the Bleacher Report they had him going in, to the Knicks and the Clippers pick, with the Clippers pick as well. I mean, if they go Obi Toppin, sure. I think in the Bleacher Report they had him going to any Udea with their top pick. So if they go Obi Toppin, they do need a point guard. So I guess it's got to be Nico Mannion at this point. Daniel Otoro, somebody that to the Raptors at 28. Boston maybe should have taken a couple picks earlier. I don't know much about him, but I know he's a solid center, and people have him in front of Isaiah Stewart. So I think Boston could use him. Maybe could use him. Lakers taking Jamius Ramsey here at 29. Somebody with scoring potential, what they need off the bench. Definitely could end up being better than KCP or a Quinn Cook. Definitely better than maybe a Quinn Cook. And then at 30, Tyrell Terry, to Boston. But they already had another point guard, right? I'm pretty sure they already had them taking another point guard. Who was it? It was, I like Terry a lot. Maxey, kind of. And then Bolmaro, I don't know. I feel like they got to end up at least with one center with these picks. He also did a second round portion of that, but I'm not going to react to that because I'm not going to feel confident on a lot of these players. Like, I do like Desmond Bane and Cassius Stanley. Like, if we can go through this, Dotson to the T-Wolves, Winston to the Sixers, Woodyard to the Kings. I don't know much about Woodyard. Skylar May, same with him. To the Sixers, Xavier Tillman, I do like a little bit out of Michigan State, but going to the Wizards. Knicks taking Vernon Carey. Jalen Smith to the Pels. Tyler Bay to the Grizzlies here at 40. I think Tyler Bay could be a first-round guy. Peyton Pritchard to the Spurs at 41. I actually do like that. Kind of a senior out of Oregon. Would like him in Pop system. Elijah Hughes to the Pels at 42. Malachi Flynn to the Kings at 43. He might go higher than that in the draft. Jordan Nora, I don't think he's going to be that good in the NBA, but to the Blazers at 44. Jared Butler to the Magic at 45. Sam Merrill to the Celtics at 46. Grant Riller, like him a lot, but he's old. He is old to the Bulls at 47. Paul Reed, I like him a lot. I think he should go a lot higher to the Warriors at 48. Emmanuel Quickly, like him as well. I think he should go higher to the Sixers at 49. Ayo Dosunmu, I like him a lot too. I forgot he's in this draft. He was great at Illinois this year. To the Pacers at 50, I think he can go higher up. I might like maybe Ayo and Quickly a little bit more than Mannion, possibly. I do like Ayo a little bit. Udoka Azubuike to the Thunder at 51. Chris Smith to the Hawks. That is the most generic name ever. But he's a guy that definitely has potential at UCLA. I got to see him live against UNC this year. Killian Tilly to the Kings at 53. Abdoulaye Ndoye to the Warriors at 54. Yamato to the Nets at 55. Mason Jones to the Hornets at 56. Kenyon Martin Jr. to the Clippers at 57. Paul Yeboah to the Raptors at 58. 2 more picks. Nick Richards to the Sixers at 59. And Lamar Stevens out of Penn State. Hey, there you go. To the Pelicans at 60. I just wanted to read that off. Just if you didn't have the Athletic and you're curious on what the second round picks could be. But yeah, that's going to be my reaction to the Athletics mock draft. Let me know if you guys enjoyed by dropping a thumbs up and letting me know in the comments below. And then let me know if you guys want me to react to anything else down there as well. But like always, thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.